What is going on, champs? It is your boy Soldy. Welcome faces back to another Apex Legends video. Today I'll be going over the best console settings to dominate the upcoming Season 3. Thank you for joining me, and let's get into the video. With Season 3 just around the corner, I managed to change up some of my personal settings, which has had a pretty big impact for me, especially playing rank mode. So today I want to go over the updated scope sensitivity options, as well as going over my updated overall settings, so be sure to stick around. If you are new to the channel, here you find some of the best tips and tricks to make you an even better player. So consider subscribing. Now let's get into some valid settings to help you dominate Season 3. Alright, Champion Squad, after the original settings video did extremely well, I figured I can update you guys on some settings that I tweaked, which has helped me improve even more. So let's hop first onto the new scope sensitivity options. To locate the new scope sensitivity, head over to the controller tab, then click on ADS look sensitivity. Then you will be shown custom ADS controls per optic. Make sure to have that on, which lets you then personalize each specific optic to its own ADS sensitivity. Now my 1x, 2x, and 3x are all set to 4, which is typically what my general ADS sensitivity is. The reason I have 1 to 3 times set to 4 is because these scopes are typically meant for medium to long range gunfights. So this gives me just enough aim control whenever a player is jumping around or being a harder target to hit. Now if you have your general ADS sensitivity, let's say for example set to 3, then you want to make sure your 1 to 3 times scopes are also set to 3. These specific scopes are still compatible with your general ADS and work great for specific ranges these scopes can cover. Now my 4x, 6x, and 8x are all set to 5, which is increased by 1 as compared to the closer range scopes. When you have on a 4 to 8 times scope, the ADS sensitivity starts to get much slower when set to default. This is something I've noticed when the game first came out, but I wasn't able to adjust it at the time. However, now we can, so I immediately set my 4 to 8 times scopes a little bit higher than my general ADS. This lets me have quicker control at those really long range sniper battles, especially when using the longbow. At those ranges, you have to lead the shot and sort of predict where the enemy will move into your bullet. So having a little bit more ADS speed will help line up your shot quicker. Also, in those long range sniper battles, you don't have much time to line up your shot before the enemy sways towards a different direction. So having your ADS sensitivity slightly higher than your general ADS will help you be on top of leading your shot faster. And finally, for the 10 times optic, now I have mine set to 6, but again, this can be personal preference based on how well you can control your aim. If you haven't adjusted any of your scope ADS options, then using mine will give you a good foundation, then adjust accordingly to your preference. So now that I've covered the new scope sensitivity, let's get into the look sensitivity and general ADS look sensitivity. I have both of mine set to 4, which is still the same compared to the original settings video. I planned on switching my look sensitivity to 5, but I noticed I use hipfire pretty frequently when playing Apex Legends. Your hipfire sensitivity is what your look sensitivity is, so I haven't had to adjust this since I feel extremely comfortable with my current look sensitivity and the ability to land consistent hipfire shots. Now I've been getting many comments asking how to pick your sensitivity. What I would recommend doing is starting at 4 for both and then go through my custom aim training course. I'll leave the link down in the description. If you guys haven't seen that video yet, I basically created a custom aim course in Apex training. The course has 4 stages, which increases in difficulty each stage. The goal of the aim course is to improve your aim as well as warm you up before playing your first match of Apex Legends. So when you're going through the aim course, time yourself on how fast you can complete the course, then change your sensitivity either up 1 or down 1, and retry the course. Eventually, you'll find your perfect look and ADS sensitivity when you can complete the course with ease at a quicker time. Alright, Legends, now let's get into my next setting that I've adjusted compared to the old settings video, which is field of view. Now my original was always set to 80, but I recently updated it to 90. FOV basically stretches out the outsides of your screen's vision, so the higher you have it set to, the more vision you will have around you. Now my older settings video goes a bit more in depth with field of view, so I highly recommend you guys check it out if you haven't already. With that said, ever since I changed my FOV to 90, I've seen some improvement with my overall gameplay. Recently I've been grinding ring play to finally hit Predator before the rank season ends. Currently I'm at Diamond 2, and my FOV being set to 90 has been a big help with those intense rank games. Now I know I mentioned that increasing your FOV can cause visual issues at farther ranges without a scope, but I haven't had much issue spotting and tagging players at far ranges with the 90 FOV. Also keep in mind that I'm using a regular Xbox, so players with improved consoles can possibly set it a bit higher if it suits you. Now the last settings I wanted to cover today is the look and movement dead zone. Even though I have them set the same as the older settings video, I have a little bit more experience on how they work no matter how worn your controller analog sticks are. So recently I started experiencing controller analog drift on my right analog stick, which was in charge for aiming. So randomly my aim starts to slightly quickly move up on its own because of my controller being so overused. The higher you set the dead zones for each option, the smoother your aim will be, but you won't have as much control. If you want to have snappy and quicker aim, you want to set these dead zones both to small. Now I had someone comment on the older video as to why my look dead zone is not set to none, so that way I have full control of my aiming analog stick. So I tried using that option in Apex training, but I've instantly felt a decrease in my accuracy. Now in my opinion, having both of them set to small still keeps a smooth aiming experience while still being in good control. Also, for those of you who have been asking about ALC controls, I don't have mine activated, and with all the setting features that it offers, it can take hours on end to perfect those options. I've gotten 4 20 kill games and 3 4K damage games using the settings I have without adjusting any ALC options. At this point, I don't think it's necessary for me to test the waters with those setting options, but I'm sure there are other videos that delve into it a bit more. And for the players who are new to the channel, if you want to find out all of my settings, just pause the video as I scroll through each tab, from gameplay, controller, video, and audio. That is going to wrap up today's video. If you watched till this point of the video, thank you for spending a couple minutes every day with me. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like rating. It is always appreciated. I can't explain how excited I am for Season 3, especially with Crypto coming into the mix. Hopefully he will be able to counter Watson's abilities and sort of change up the gameplay. I'm also sorry for the lack of uploads on the channel recently. I've just come off of sickness. As you can probably tell, my voice is still sick and it absolutely sucks. I wanted to get this video out much earlier for you guys, so I'm gonna try my hardest to get another 1 to 2 videos out this week. That's minimum. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, this has been your boy Soul D. I'm signing off. Peace.